I just want to say that today we're going to be talking about the lifeblood of new growth opportunities. And usually it's sitting right under the noses of the executives within the company, and they don't realize that they have an opportunity that's sitting there or waiting to be discovered. And you do that through new product, service, and development. So today I want to talk about that in detail and go into 5 specific ways that you can implement this new strategy within your organization. Just checking on the major business processes that are needed for you to be successful for the long term. So what we're looking specifically at is researching, exploring, brainstorming, and developing new products and services for your business or the business, period. So I want to start, just a reminder of who I am. I'm Voss Graham. I'm an organizational architect in Memphis, Tennessee with Interactive Consulting Group. I help business leaders grow their organizations into real business enterprises. So therefore, I'm not talking about just sole proprietors and that sort of thing, but I'm talking about real entrepreneurs that build a larger brand, a company, an enterprise with more and more people. And people is, that's the source of complexity. So these are the areas that I help guide these leaders through the transitions of the 7 growth stages. But we're going to start today. We're talking about new product and service development. The first thing you can do is have marketing reconnaissance. Now, that's a fancy word for just having research done on what are the opportunities within your industry that you're not exploiting at this particular moment in time. So the marketing group can do the research necessary to help you discover avenues or new opportunities, new product lines, new services. In some cases, it's just a matter of bundling some of the services that you already have into one package. We often refer to that as framework. What's the framework of what you're offering? Particularly for professional firms, you need to pay attention to that. So that's marketing reconnaissance. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, but it's all based in research, and in some cases the research is good, but it's not necessarily revolutionary. It's not necessarily telling you what the customer truly wants and needs. So the next area is a little bit closer to home. You look at customer reconnaissance. Now, this is to me the main source of ideas and brainstorming and exploring of what the customers actually want. Now, this requires that your sales team and the executive team visit with their key accounts and their best customers and just find out what could be offered that they would be looking for. In addition to what you're already selling them, what else do they want? What else do they need? Where is there a gap in what they're getting to that would increase their customer satisfaction and ultimately their loyalty? Now, this has been my source for the new product growth. And I'm going to add that personally, my business was a little stagnant for a while because I had failed to implement new product design and implementation in services for a couple of years, and I didn't realize what I was creating for myself. I had a lot of good customers, first-time customers, and customers who had been with me for a long time buying the primary products and services that we offered, but it was kind of slowing down. Then I discovered that they wanted certain things that I hadn't offered them, or they didn't know that I offered in some cases. So I had to bundle and package a little bit differently in order to show new products, new services that were available that we could deliver upon. We already had the credibility and the trust factor. It was just the offer now needed to match that. So when we started doing that, our business started accelerating its growth again. And now it's become part of the regular planning process. How do we add new ways, new tweaks? That's been a marketing strategy for years, actually, with the big retail companies. They come out with new and improved all the time. If you ever notice that in the ads, new and improved. So it's like, okay, this is no longer the status quo. It's something new and different. And that will create interest and demand for that new product. So again, your customers are the number one source for great ideas and actually energy on your part to satisfy them. Therefore, you get more involved in the development of these new products, new services. Now, the third area is well-defined product and service plan. Now, this is something that I probably should have talked about in marketing, but you should have a 12-month rolling calendar relative to offers, promotions, and that sort of thing. And that should include new product launches. When are you going to launch those new products? Now, there is a lot of dialogue about should these be totally separate from my current business lines or not. And my first take on that is no, they should be complementary to what you offer, but they're adding some additional value. Something else that's missing from the customer's equation that they will be more than happy to purchase if you take the time to develop and offer it. So this is critical. I've seen it happen time after time where we just come up with a little new twist, or we just talk to the customer, we find out what they want, then we put it into the plan of when is it going to roll out and how are we going to position the new product launch so that it starts quickly and we can get more data back from the customers relative to satisfaction and what problems it's actually solving, and get some actual testimonies or track records with success factors. So this is a good plan to have, and I strongly recommend it for all businesses to have a well-defined product and service developmental plan. Then the fourth element is internal evaluation of skills within your own company. Now, this is important because if you start stretching out into an area that you have no talent, no skill sets for the people within your company to deliver that, it's sort of like all of a sudden going into technology and you have no technology people on board. Well, hello, you have a gap, and you need to go in and evaluate the internal skills level of your workforce. What can they handle? How innovative are they? How creative are they? Can they develop new things or not? Maybe you have to outsource that element because it's not available within the organization itself. So internal evaluation of skills is an important concept, and it is part of the new product, new service development. You've got to be able to deliver excellence in both the product and the service plan. But if you can't build it the right way or service it the right way, then you have a major gap, and that will possibly need new people, new blood, new training processes in order to get people up to speed, in order to handle the new products and services. I know that's in a professional firm. If you're coaching or training and you pick up a different group of people that have different backgrounds, you need to have somebody who has that internal skill level to relate to those people at a very high level, so that you gain more credibility and they will actually implement what is provided for them. So the final part is design and testing. Now, this is something that most folks don't do. They don't test it first. I always believe that testing is critical. I know the great marketing firms will always test. They just don't go out and randomly spend millions of dollars running ads. They do a small market first and they test it to see what the response rates are. And then once they establish that, it begins to work better. Even in the internet marketing world, you have A/B testing. You have, I mean, they're testing everything from headlines to the print copy, the copy itself, the images. All of these things are constantly being tested to see which one has the highest response levels. So design and testing, don't just go out and offer something new cold and willy-nilly without some type of test the market. We've seen a lot of people invest huge sums of money in developing something that customers don't want, don't need, and will not buy. And that's just wasted resources that could have been applied to a little bit different uh, product or service, or even just tweaking what is already on on the drawing board or in your arsenal of products and services to offer to customers. Design and testing is where it's at. You've got to do that. So maybe you have a smaller group of customers that you offer specials for, that test the product before. I know again in the software world, beta testers or your design and testing group, they find all the holes in the software before it goes public, and they report back, but they are able to use the product well before it goes public with the new versions. And actually they help create the new versions based upon the design and testing efforts of the beta group. And therefore it needs to be applied at all levels. What are people wanting? So you do your reconnaissance, you have a well-defined development and plan for, at least rolling 12-month plans, maybe even 2 and 3 year plans for new product rollouts. And then you have evaluation of the skill sets so that you can ensure that you have the right people on your team in the right seats to help deliver either the new product or the service. And by the way, the internal evaluation of skills, this could be the sales team. If you've been a traditional, an old, what I call old school traditional sales company, and everything is transactional in the a month-to-month or day-to-day basis, and there's no contracts, there's no major accounts. And then suddenly you want to shift that team, that sales team, to sell major accounts and larger accounts and have contracts. Well, that takes a totally different skill set. And these people need to be trained. And this includes an element we call mindset. Because I've helped a lot of sales teams and distribution groups to transition from transactional selling to major account selling. And I can tell you right now, the number one roadblock is not the skill sets themselves that they learn, but it's the mindsets of what they allow themselves to do in front of a customer. There's a fear factor, or there's a caution factor, or there's a disbelief that this new process will even work with this industry or this customer. In most cases, it's proven wrong, and by somebody. But somebody has to trailblaze in order to show the others that, hey, this is possible. You should try it, and then watch what happens as the floodgates open up with the conversions of customers to major accounts. Anyway, I want to thank you for your time today. There's again, there's a lot of information to be discovered on new product and service development. There are techniques to utilize and brainstorming, mindstorming with groups to discover. The sales team has to be educated to look for opportunities And then the sales management team, the sales executive team, has to be prepared to pass that information up. It has to be a top of mind awareness factor in order for new products and service development to get legs and move through the organization. Even if it's just you create a test environment for one customer to see how it works. These are things that need to be done for a company to constantly have new growth opportunities coming in the door. And without new products, you will suddenly run out of customers, because there's only so much market saturation. Now, unless you're selling consumables, which is a little different ball game there. But even consumables, if you've noticed, the razor blades have gone through a number of changes. They add more blades, they make them disposable, they make them eject, and all kinds of, they make them spiffier looking. They put chrome on them, and they put some kind of chemical to make them smooth and all that stuff. I mean, that's a razor blade. Come on. What else can you do with a razor blade? But that's the new and exciting new product, new way of doing it, and people will buy it. And then the continuity programs with razors, where they say, hey, just do a monthly and we'll send you blades all the time, and you're always using sharp blades. I mean, everything is designed for customers, and the new millennials, they prefer to have it delivered to the door. So that was, design and testing of new product methodology, a service plan, so to speak, for simple things like shaving. I mean, the world is full of examples, but you have to open your eyes and see them coming down the pike. So with that, I want to thank you for participating today. I'm sorry about the slow start. We're kind of like freezing down here in the South today. And of course, it's not as bad as my friends up north. I know that they're like in deep freeze up there, and a lot of companies have actually shut down because things aren't working. Phone lines aren't working. They just go dead and in and out, and the cold is so brutal that the heaters can't even keep up and keep the employees warm. And if you don't have heating systems in your plant, you're in real serious trouble today with all the cold air. Anyway, so sorry about the discourse, but that's just me. You take care. Have a great week, and I'll be back on sharing some new topics. I know the next topic, you might want to alert your human resources group to pay attention, because the next group is all about human resources. And I'll be talking about talent and how the talent can be utilized at a very, very high level, or underutilized due to other factors. In fact, retention or turnover issues come from just not paying attention relative to what is actually going on with your talent. So we'll be discussing that in the next video. I'm looking forward to sharing that information with you. In the meantime, you have a great day and an even better week.